What's up, everybody? King of Fomo here, coming at you with your daily crypto update. Make sure you follow me over there on Telegram. That's t.me/KingofFomo1, as well as my chat, which is going to be linked in the description below. Today, we're going to be talking about a new top 10 Uniswap token. And this is a time-sensitive video. Time is running out on this thing. You have about 10 days before you have to really just cross your fingers and hope that you can get the token at a little bit of a cheaper price. And the token that we're going to be talking about is Wise token. So I've talked about this on my channel a lot of times in the past. And now we're gonna get into we're getting towards the end of their pre-sale or their liquidity transformation epoch. And as we get to the end of that, there's a couple of things that's going to happen with the Wise token. On December 31st, the liquidity is going to be added onto Uniswap. So all of the Ethereum that's been used to purchase the Wise token over the past, it's almost been 40 days, is going to be put onto Uniswap. And you can see that thousands of Ethereum is being put in here on a daily basis. As you can see, the total Ether button right here. And what that means is over close to about $500,000 to $750,000 on average has been put into the Wise token system on a daily basis. So that has broken a lot of people's expectations. A lot of people thought this thing was going to flop. They thought that the interest was going to go down. And even if you compare this with your other clones of Hex or your other Hex copycats like your T2X or like your E2X or like DSP, those are all things that failed pretty much from the get-go in the beginning within the first week or two. Now with Wise token having a shorter liquidity transformation epoch, instead of stretching it out over the entire year, this only stretched out over the course of 2 months, and it's done extremely well over the course of 2 months and has only really ran into like maybe one issue, but that issue was pretty much solved pretty quickly with an Oracle problem they had on one of the random days. So taking a look at this, let's just go over to Wise info, and we can see like I said, I'm calling it a top 10 coin because right now technically it is a top 10 coin. If the liquidity were to be put onto Uniswap today, it would be a rank 8 coin, and you can go to Uniswap and you can see in the top 10 coins right there, that's going to be making waves. And I think that a lot more eyeballs are going to be put onto Wise token at the time, because a lot of people have been writing it off and saying that Hex is better, or it's just a Hex copycat, or it's nothing at all. But once people do actually see that this thing has $60 million worth of liquidity on Uniswap, I think people are going to be interested in trading it. And we'll talk about what's going to happen with the price of that in a second. On this website, it also shows you the price of a Wise token. So currently, right now, we're looking at about 11 cents per Wise token. Now, this has been kind of the opposite of what Hex has done. When Hex started, Hex's most populous day was day 1. And then it kind of went down from there. And then towards the end, this end point is similar to Hex, where you have a lot of interest towards the end. And then I think what happened with Hex is that it tapered off towards the end. Now with Wise token, it's kind of the opposite. So we have the kind of the lowest days on Wise token here in the beginning, and then over time, we had a lot more interest on here in day 6, day 7, day 8, and then in this middle point, we didn't have that much interest, and now we're starting to get a lot of interest. In fact, the most populous Ethereum day had close to 2,000 Ethereum, which, if I'm not mistaken, is close to almost $4 million, if I'm not mistaken on that, maybe a little bit less, but almost 2,000 Ethereum on here on day 39. So this thing is making waves. Now, another thing that people are concerned about is when this thing does actually get launched, when this thing does get actually put onto Uniswap, what's going to stop people from dumping? Well, the fact of the matter is, if you're buying Wise token, you're most likely going to get an average of the price for Wise token. So you're not going to get a huge amount of extra or a huge amount less. There will be some people, however, that are getting upwards of 2x. Maybe some of the people that purchased only on day 2, they're going to be getting close to 2x as soon as this thing gets put onto Uniswap. And there's going to be people that are getting less as well. So there's going to be people that are getting 0.5x when they put it on Uniswap. So I think just with the law of averages, this thing is going to average out, maybe in between the highest and lowest prices of when people purchased in on here. But in reality, nobody really purchases a token to sell the token at the exact same price. So I don't think that a giant dump is going to happen, but I do think that there will be price volatility. Now, you also have to keep in mind there will be some interest on the outside. There were people saying that they're going to be waiting until after this token launches to try and get it at a better price or at the average price, and those people are going to be ready to buy the Wise token when it launches. And the last thing that you guys have to keep in mind is the, I guess we can take a look over here and we can look at Hex and just make a comparison to Hex. So with Hex, this is a token that people again wrote off and said was going to die after it launched, and it's still not dead yet, myself included. I don't really think that this thing is going to survive long term, just because of centralization issues. But nonetheless, there are people that have been staking the Hex token, and those people are the ones that have been the biggest winners. The people that have been staking and potentially staking for a longer period of time as Hex is starting to recover here. So I think that people will be able to look at Hex, especially within the next 10 days, and really just make a comparison of Hex to Wise. And that's a good thing, because when they're making that comparison with Hex to Wise, they're going to be able to say, well, this token might be worth holding for a longer period of time. And if they're going to hold it for a longer period of time, then the smart thing to do is going to be to stake it instead of holding it, because I know a lot of people are going to get wrapped up in emotion and get a little bit scared if it goes down a little bit, but overall, like I said, the biggest winners in Hex are the people that were staking for maybe a longer period of time. People that are still staking right now are actually probably very, very happy, because they're seeing the price of Hex continue to go back up and to continue to rebound. And even though there were people that were staking until the big payday and then dumped shortly after the big payday and got a profit from that, I think that obviously with Wise token and with Hex token, bigger pays better and longer pays better. The people that are staking a larger amount for a longer period of time are going to be getting the most back from doing those stakes. So those are the people that are going to be making the most from Hex, as long as the price of Hex does not collapse. And people looking at Wise token, and I can guarantee you there are people that are doing Hex also doing Wise. I mean, of course, you're going to have your maximalists that only believe in one thing, but those people are pretty much those are not smart people, because if you only ever believe in one thing your entire life, you're not going to be making the most out of the opportunities that present in front of you. But nonetheless, there's going to be people that are doing both things, both Hex and Wise. So I think that a large amount of Wise token is going to be staked after we get to December 30th and we get those Wise tokens available in our wallet. So definitely be on the lookout for that. I will be staking a good portion of my Wise tokens. With Hex, I did over time. I was tempted to sell, and I did sell. Of course, I mean, there's going to be people that do that if the price does, start to climb a little bit. And this was Hex when it first launched. You bought at this time, this price right here, and then the price eventually had a moon right here, and this was the moon. And then people sold mostly at this point, and then it dipped a little bit, and it had another moon. People sold, it dipped, and it had another moon. People sold, it dipped, and we're kind of going into the fourth moon period right here. So again, the people that have been staking and that have been making coins over time, instead of the people that have just taken a quick 2x profit, have made a great amount into Hex. And that's the comparison that I want to make with Wise. So just taking a look at this again with a $58 million USD liquidity. I'm trying to see, I don't know if I can see this with Hex, but I don't know if I can see the actual liquidity with Hex. I might have to go to Uniswap to see that. So let's see if we can swing over to there. And I just want to make a comparison to let you guys know that the market cap of this thing can also go parabolic. Like, things can go crazy for this thing as well. There's a lot of options that you have. So let's go ahead and see if we can click over here and find the liquidity for Hex. So here's Hex's liquidity, currently sitting at about $3 million. And again, we compare that to the mammoth that is Wise token with $58 million of liquidity. That's going to be, again, like I said before, it's going to be a top 10, number 8 actually. We go back here, it's going to be right past the Uniswap token in terms of liquidity, which is pretty darn crazy. Now granted, yes, I do know that Hex is on a couple of different centralized exchanges, but that's one of the main factors that pulls me and a lot of other people into Wise token, is that it's way more decentralized than Hex. And I think that that's what's giving it potential. And that's the last point that I'll mention with Wise token, is that this is a decentralized coin almost through and through. There's not really a centralized party that controls this token, unless the people that have been putting in upwards of 1,000 Ethereum per day is the same person, which is unlikely. I mean, it's likely that there's a few people, and you can even take a look at Wise Info. There are a few people that threw in 1,000 Ethereum on a day, a couple days. You can see right here, one referral with 1,999 Ethereum. That's one person putting that in right there. But overall, since the platform is decentralized and not one singular party, unlike with Hex with Richard Hart or the origin address controls 90% of what's in there, it's going to be organic. Whether it dumps or whether it pumps, it's going to be organic. And that's a huge deal. That means you shouldn't expect, I mean, some of you guys remember Ether Plus or ETH Plus. You shouldn't expect weird stuff to happen like that, where the token just dumps to zero overnight, or the token just pumps 50x overnight because one person is doing all that stuff. So it's going to be more of a smooth ride, I think, if it's going to be a smooth ride up or a smooth ride down. So those are my opinions on Wise Token. Definitely stay up to date. This is, like I said, time sensitive. We're sitting here at day 39, and this thing is going to be over on day 51, which is Wise claiming day. So you only have about maybe close to about 10 days left to decide what you want to do. If you want to get some of these Wise tokens early and potentially cheaper. These are riskiest days that are coming up, so keep that in mind as well. But you can get some extra cheap Wise if you're buying on some of these super risky days. But that's a whole other can of worms that we can talk about. All right, guys, that's everything for today. Check out Wise Token if you haven't yet. You are running out of time, and it is going to sneak up on you. It's going to make waves. Like I said, it's guaranteed to probably be in the top 10 of Uniswap. There's days left, and it's already number 8. Alright guys, that's everything for today. I'll catch you in the next video. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace out.